Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. You may see someone that you don't know on the keys. That's Carrie McCoy joining us today. And are you ready to be healed? I know I am. I can't wait to hear what you have to say, Reverend James. And Reverend Debbie's here. And Paul, you're doing the meditation this morning. You're in for a treat. Let's sing about how we are all welcome here. That's right. Here we go. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh my soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. All souls are welcome. That's right. Here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh my soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh my soul is welcome. Oh my soul is welcome. Your soul, our soul, everybody is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yes, it is. My soul is welcome. You know you're welcome. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yeah, my soul is welcome. Yeah, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Well, good morning, Rev. Deborah. Good to see you this morning. Good to see everyone else this morning, as our souls indeed are welcome here.
And good morning, Reverend James. It's great to be here, and we greet you in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and of course the beautiful temples of nature, because we know there is no space that God does not grace. And if you're with us for the very first time today, either watching us online or here in person, we especially want to welcome you, because we know that you are not here by accident. Every one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're always very excited to get together, and that excitement extends to silencing your electronic devices, and please refrain from flash photography during the service.
Now that we've created that clearing to connect with this presence, let's take a moment to simply commune with this supportive, uplifting, transforming energy that we call the Spirit of the living God. Recognizing that it is with us always. And we're here to remind one another that it contains everything we could ever hope for, ever want, or ever desire. It is the origin of peace that passes all understanding, and it's the origin of health and vitality and vigor and all that we could ever seek in our life. But more importantly, because we come from this one presence, all of those qualities are within us, and it's up to us to simply radiate them out in our life and in our world. And so we're grateful to be the vessels and vehicles of this presence as we go forth, magnifying and multiplying the all good everywhere that we go, so that when folks see us, they can say they see the presence from which we have come. For this and so much more, we're grateful and thankful as we go forth doing our part to anchor a little bit more of the ever-expanding good in our world. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Well, we have a very important purpose here at Spiritual Life Center as reflected in our mission statement. I invite you to join in as we affirm it together. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry that out as we embody these 5 universal principles to the best of our ability. Again, let's speak them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action.
And we have wonderful action this week. We have this Wednesday, for Wow Wednesday, we have the Unity World Day of Prayer. And of course, our chaplains are the lovely people who put that program together. And were you telling me that you invented this?
Our class, when I was in ministerial school, had to do some different projects. And our instructor said we should do something that would leave a legacy. So members of our class got together, and we started the very first World Day of Prayer. Just a few of us, and we prayed around the fountain at Unity Village, and then Unity took it over, and now, boom, we have World Day of Prayer. So, and I just remembered that because, our class, we started out as a project. And so now, I had forgotten so much about it that I forgot it. Or it was really a God idea. It just happened to come through us at that time.
Well, thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that. And so between now and then, there's the prayer tree is out by the chaplain table. And make sure to go out and put your prayer on the tree. And then at the ceremony, they will, or afterwards, they will sit down and read all your prayers and pray over them. And then they get sent to Silent Unity, don't they?
Yes,
so, yes,
you go to Silent Unity for our additional 30 days of prayer.
Right. So there's the community meal at 6, and the service will start at 7.
And the gala is on its way. It's right around the corner. Just reminded me, September 29th, Friday, it's our 25th anniversary edition of the Light the World Gala. So it's going to be a great experience. Tickets are always available right now. You can, I believe, get them online. You get them at the hub. Just join us on that anniversary date, and we're going to have lots of fun, food, and fellowship. I was going to say fun, foolishness, and fellowship, but we may have a little bit of that as well. Come in and join in.
It is SLC, so I'm sure the willingness will show up. Faith in Action is almost here, and participant sign-up starts today. So people have been asking. We're actually doing this about a week later. So you only have 3 weeks to sign up this time, folks. So you don't get to wait till you can still wait till the very last minute. But so it's open from today through September 24th, which is a Sunday. So get out there and choose your group. There's a beautiful array of options for you to look at. The workbook will be available next week. But go ahead and sign up, and then we'll let you know when you can go in and download the workbook. So find your group today.
And, of course, we have an update always from our Board of Trustees once a month. We have our board member, longtime member of Spiritual Life Center, Reverend Penny Clement. She's going to share her update for the board.
I would say it is so nice to see so many bright and shining faces here this early in the morning. I'm an 11 o'clock person myself, so I don't know how you guys get up and get here every week, but great. Good to see you. Get my notes in order here. So the Board of Trustees this last week was so grateful to Randy Seisman. He came in on his own time and spent time with us going over giving us financial training and answering all our questions. So sweet just to answer everything we needed to know. So thank you, Randy. The good news is the property has been put on the market in Arizona, and if and when it sells, so this is up to you guys to see that property selling. It's just a little piece of desert, basically, but maybe somebody would love to have it. The proceeds will go to Spiritual Life Center. So this is a reminder to you that if you know somebody who has some property that they would like to donate, we are always available and can work with them to make that happen. So just a reminder, there's all sorts of opportunities out there when we look for them. Now we've come to a decision. It's like everybody's holding their breath, wondering, oh, can we go to a board meeting? Like it's the most interesting thing in the world. But we've decided to do a 3-month trial period where up to 5 people, my goodness, 5 people can attend. So we're asking for a 2-week notice if you plan to attend, and you can sign up on the SLC website. Now, our next board meeting has been moved to Tuesday, September 26th, so that we don't interfere with the gala setup. But we are looking forward to the gala, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you there because it's always a wonderful event, and it's going to be just real powerful. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Penny.
And each week we remind you that there are many ways to find for personal transformation here at Spiritual Life Center. So I remind you to check out our small groups and our other events that happen. And if you you can go out to the courtyard and look at the bulletin board, go talk with the lovely ladies at the hub. Of course, everything you need to know about SLC is on our website. So check us out.
And of course, one of the reasons we come to Spiritual Life Center is simply to make connections with other people who are on the path of growth, development, unfoldment, and enlightenment. And we make connections in that way at our workshops, seminars, galas. But we never have to wait till an event. We can connect with someone right here, right now. So I invite you to turn to a friend or a neighbor in a manner that feels comfortable to you and just say you are marvelous and glad you are here.
And we invite you to stay standing and join us in singing our group song, I See God in Every Minute, in every moment. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see God in every moment. In every moment we have a choice. We have a choice what to see. We have a choice what to experience. We have a choice what we choose. And today we're choosing to see God in every moment. Does that sound good?
Sounds
You're
good.
awfully quiet. Let's sing loud. Here we go. I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh. I see God in every moment. Every single moment I see God. I see God in every moment. Ooh. So won't you join me on this journey, rising to your greater self? And we'll fly away together into healing, into hell, into our healing. I see God in every moment. I see God. I see God in every moment. Ooh, I see God in every moment. I see God. I see God in every moment. Ooh, I feel God in every moment. Though I'm standing in the dark, there's a struggle in me stirring that's trying to find some part of life that ties it all together, making real some deeper truth. And we dive into our freedom, into me, into you, into our freedom. I feel God in every moment. Why do I feel? Because I choose it. I feel God in every moment. Ooh, I feel God in every moment. I feel every single moment. I feel God in every moment. Ooh, I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh, yeah. I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh. Please be seated. Yeah, give yourselves a hand. That's right.
As we move into the contemplative portion of our service, let's take a nice deep breath and let us embody the words of our vision statement together. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exception. Weaving ancient spiritual tradition with emerging wisdom, we cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet.
And now, in preparation for meditation, we invite you to sing this beautiful chant again by Richard Burdick. Be still and know. 1, 2. And I invite you to take a nice deep breath and just become present. Please join us in singing. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I
still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God.
Peace, be still. Feel the ground beneath your feet and allow yourself to feel peace and become very still as you settle in for meditation in a way that is comfortable for you. Take in a nice deep breath, aware of the breath filling your body. And as you let that breath go, practice letting go. Now take in another nice deep breath. And as you let that breath go, practice being present. One more deep breath in. And as you let that breath go, practice opening up. Continue that cycle for a while, aware of your breathing, breathing in, breathing out, letting go. Breathing in, breathing out, being present. Breathing in, breathing out, opening up. Letting go, being present, opening up. Author Rachel Naomi Remen writes, "Healing may not be so much about getting better as about letting go of everything that isn't you. All of the expectations, all of the beliefs, and becoming who you are." Take in these words. Aware of your breathing, letting go, being present, opening up, open to who you are, the I am presence, letting go of everything that isn't you, the expectations, the beliefs, the judgments. If any thoughts come up that do not serve you in this moment, release them. Let them go. And return your awareness to your breathing. Breath in, breath out. Totally present, open, and becoming who you are. Remembering that you were born and you still are whole, perfect, and complete. Remembering and becoming who you are in the silence. Gently return your awareness to your surroundings and the present moment. When you are ready, open your eyes. Take in a nice cleansing breath. Let it go with a sigh. Remember who you are. During the day, imagine what life would be like if you were free of the burden of expectations, beliefs, and the judgments that we impose on ourselves. Imagine a life without judgment, including self-judgment. I invite you to consider the following practice. Notice your thoughts and patterns without judgment. I think that is what Rachel Naomi meant when she said, let go of everything that isn't you and become who you are. Let the healing begin. May it be so.
Healed, whole, healed, whole, healed, whole, well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I accept and I receive. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. Angels are watching over me. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well, I am well. Healed, whole, healed, whole, healed, whole, well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I've got love surrounding me. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I've got love surrounding me. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well, I am well. All is well. I am well, I am well. All is well. I am well. Thinking about you, Paula Mandela. All is well. I am well. 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 All is well. I am well.
like that.
Oh, I like that as well. That's a great affirmation. You just, I am well, all is well. I am well, all is well. That's a good way to start off the day. Why don't we say that together? I am well, all is well. Okay, you don't need anything more. I can go sit down. Many years ago, I think it was, it's like it was in the 90s. That's many years to me now. I went with a friend to Europe for the very first time in Paris. And there was a group of people that wanted to go to see what I call the Shrine of the Lords of France. And it's something that I'll always remember because the emotion was very strong, very palpable. I was really feeling, I think what people were going through and the empathy that I had for them, because thousands of people in different states and stages of illness and incapacity would go on this pilgrimage of hope to the shrine that was supposedly to give them healing. And as I look back, I think the most startling thing about all of this, that although I think it was well-intentioned and probably meant to be loving, there was a pamphlet. I didn't understand what it read because it was in French, but eventually somebody translated it. Anyway, they gave out a pamphlet to the people that there were showing up who came there for the healing. And I later found out it had these words in it that were, for me at the time, stunning and maybe a little bit discouraging even. Essentially what it said is that many of you will return home without a healing, and that it's God's will that you maybe have this illness. And you have been blessed with the privilege of knowing that there's no other way to heaven except first you have to suffer. Okay, in my mind, of course, that didn't make any sense. Because if that were true, if we would take that point of view, that any attempt to remedy, an illness or heal would be against the will of God. Because by that logic, the worse we were, the better it would be for us. And of course, I said they didn't think that idea through. Because if it was God's will for us to have the maladies, then it follows that even when the master teacher Jesus, when he was having his healing ministry, that Jesus would be the king of blasphemy by going against the will of God. Now, if a person accepts that reasoning, that life is chance and all kinds of misluck is a quirk of nature, and we're just born sinners and nothing we can do about that, then we could never expect to really be healed from whatever level there is. And, I like that quote that Paul talked about, was that a healing is not necessarily a physical healing. It can be, letting go of that which is not us. So it's on many different levels. But anyway, they were trying to say that you were kind of destined for this. It's part of our life. After all, it was God's will, what you're going to do. But there is no God like that. For once we catch the idea that we are spiritual beings, and the very expression of God made in the image and likeness of this infinite presence, we will never be satisfied until we find some way to improve our well-being in any area of our life that we know can be improved. I was at the Parliament of World Religions last month, and there was a breakout session, and there was a session on the topic of the women of New Thought. Because if you look at most of our New Thought teachings, unity, divine science, Center for Spiritual Living, and that era, most of the real heavy lifting was done by women. Just saying. But it reminded me when they were doing the presentation of the story of Myrtle Fillmore, who was the co-founder of Unity. Myrtle was beset with a physical trouble at the time. She had tuberculosis, which at that time gave people very little chance of survival. And so she and Charles Fillmore attended a whole bunch of metaphysical lectures, and they studied many philosophies that we've come to know as New Thought. And one night they were listening to what is now a pretty much forgotten lecturer by the name of E.B. Weeks. And a lone idea dawned in her awareness, dawned in her consciousness. Kind of a light bulb came into her when he said these words, "You are a child of God. Therefore, you do not inherit sickness." But he could have well have said things like, "You are a child of God, you do not inherit lack. You are a child of God, you do not inherit failure. You are a child of God, you do not inherit loneliness. You are a child of God, you do not inherit anxiety or fear or limitation." But I think in order to get there, we must first answer this question. Do you really want to express who you are as a child of God? Do you want to express your wholeness in whatever part of life that is not expressing that wholeness? Do you want to be healed? And that was the question that Jesus posed to the man who was infirmed and hanging out the pool of Bethesda in that Bible story in the Gospel of John. As I mentioned, John is filled with lots of symbolism and mysticism, and it's rich in lots of symbols. And if I were to summarize the story, there was a guy who was suffering for 38 years. And he was waiting to be placed in this pool of Bethesda, and it said there were 5 porticos or 5 porches surrounding this pool. And the 5 has significance, as I'll point out later. And it was considered to be a healing pool, because whenever an angel ruffled the waters and moved the waters, it had healing power. And then the first people who jumped in the pool, they were healed. And then the power was supposedly used up, and then they had to wait until the angel came back to shake up the water again. And so Jesus saw this guy, and he had been uncomfortable for 38 years, and he says to him, "Do you want to be healed?" And the disciples around him probably saying, "Jesus, don't ask him that. You know, you're embarrassing us." Of course he wants to be healed. He's been waiting here for 38 years. And Jesus penetrated the man's awareness. He pierced his soul and said, "What's really going on? What's happening?" And the man went on to say, talk about his story. He said, "I couldn't get in the pool. People, are getting in front of me. They keep jumping in front of me, and I can't make it." And the man said, and Jesus said to the man, "There's a part of you just making excuses." Someone may ask someone, "Why aren't you living your dream? Why aren't you moving in the direction that you want to have? Why aren't you praying with intensity? Why aren't you expanding your life?" And sometimes we may have those justifications that we can articulate the time, the place, and who and how somebody did something to us, knocked us off our path. We haven't been able to set ourselves sense in the right sense. We might say it's our parents, it's our children, it's our boss. It was the people who misused us, abused us, did not understand us, knew nothing about us. Maybe they knew too much about us. We may use a litany of excuses that we think will serve us. But then the 5 senses come up. That's what the 5 porticos or the 5 porches represent. The 5 senses are, our human way of seeing things. They represent or seeing life from a limited perspective. And so Jesus looked at this guy, and he knew it was about intention. It was about our spiritual intention. It's about our willingness to be more than we thought we could be. And with that penetrating, soul-searching energy, he asked, "Wilt thou be made whole?" That's just how it says it in those Bible scriptures. And somewhere within him, the man knew he was busted. He could no longer say, "Guess what happened to me?" And he nodded in the affirmative and said, "Yes." And Jesus said to him in that story, "Take up thy bed and walk. Go live your life. Live to your highest potential." So we may ask an updated version of that question: do we want to be healed in whatever area of our life? Do we want to live from a place of wholeness? Are we willing to live life fully in this instant? Because if not, there's no reason to be healed in any area of our life. Sometimes we have things come up. We have challenges with abundance of prosperity or resentment. All those things are apprenticeships to help us discover a spiritual principle to bring us up higher. But if we're not willing to come up higher, if we're not willing to be whole, there's no reason to change if we're not willing to live life fully and in alignment with God's intention for our life. I often share about my own dark night of the soul. I had reached a very low point in my life, and I was in the hallway of the courthouse, and, my life was just over a cliff, and, wondering whether I wanted to even live any longer. And someone came out of the blue. I didn't know them, but they knew me for some reason, and they asked me, dude, I want to get some help. And, of course, up until that time, I didn't believe, I don't need no help. I'm doing just fine. Of course, that was totally contrary to the facts. But in that moment, she asked me that question, do I want to get some help? And for some reason, at that moment, I said yes. And it led to a whole different trajectory of my life, from moving from adrift to living a life of greater meaning and a journey of an ongoing spiritual evolution. But when we say yes to the question, then what? How do we go about manifesting the healing that we need in any area of our life? How do we bring about the wholeness that we're seeking, that we know is there? As I always like to say, there's no definitive how-tos. Sometimes we may think there's step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this. I think all those things are helpful because it strengthens our faith in spiritual principles, in spiritual law of forgiveness and love and abundance and peace of mind. But I really say we do all of that to keep the ego busy until the Holy Spirit can do the work. The whole Spirit of God is the one that really does the work. That kind of keeps us busy. Remember last week when I mentioned that, I went to Silent Unity, that when they start their services, it's not I, but the God within, the Christ within that does the work. So what we do is create the conditions that make the result inevitable. And one of the first steps we could do is embody the idea that behind the statement that's found in Matthew, the 15th chapter and 11th verse, where it said it's not what comes into your mouth that matters, but what comes out of your mouth that really makes all the difference in the world. What are we speaking every moment of the day? There used to be a little ditty in Unity. I used to think it was, that was so corny. But now that I think about it, it really makes a lot of sense. And it used to sing, every little cell of my body is healthy. Every little cell of my body is well. And it went on and on and on and on, just like that. But, we realize there's something powerful about speaking those words. And what we want to do is let the right things come out of our mouth. And thus, when you and I are affirming and expressing, what we're doing is saying the dynamic power and speaking the words of truth. And the more that we do this, the more we're going to experience the wholeness and the healing that we're seeking. And every part and every cell and every function and every organ and every aspect of our being begins to get in alignment with what we're speaking. There's someone who says something to the effect, we need to hurl the words of truth into the arena of life and watch them work. There's power in our words. So we don't want to say things like, oh, I'm so unlucky. Oh, I'm destined to be ill. Oh, I'm always the one catching the illness, or I'm prone to have accidents. And all these things will come and find us once we start speaking those things. Now, this is about as simple I think it can get to in this matter of spiritual healing on any level. But it's important that we grasp the idea that spiritual healing is not complicated, it's mystical, it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And I say it's simple in the sense that we're dealing with the very simple fundamentals of life. It's not easy because one has to keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on until something clicks. And that's what Myrtle Fillmore did when she had her healing. She had to do her spiritual work for like 2 years, praying, meditating, affirming, to reach the point where she went from a diagnosis of sure death to living another 40 years in her life. It takes work. I think for our answer to be a resounding yes to the question, are we ready to be healed and whole, we have to expect a miracle. We have to speak with conviction. We don't want to just, because I always say we don't get what we pray for. We get what we expect What are we expecting deep down inside? We may be struggling with something, in our life. We all go through stuff. The body temple's acting up. The family relatives are acting up. There's some lack or limitation showing up in our life. All kind of crazy stuff going on in this world. And somewhere along the line, we have forgotten that behind that, there's a spiritual pattern, a perfect idea in the mind of God. And we may have been inundated with circumstances, and we may try to fight it and hope it goes away. We play mental games with ourselves, and we wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's wrapped up in all those circumstances. But our job is to lift our awareness and not fight the circumstances, not merely change the situation, but lift our awareness, lift our consciousness to that point that we call heaven, which is ever-expanding good. And then be aware of the pattern of perfection that is our life, and it will begin to take us over. In the Aramaic language, the word prayer means slotha, which means to set a trap. I didn't make that up. I think it's a good thing, though. So when Jesus was talking about prayer, what he's really doing is setting a mental trap. He was telling us, set a mental trap for the ideas of spirit, making it receptive for a spiritual idea, the perfect pattern that we have forgotten. Because oftentimes we get so much caught up in the circumstance. That's why I think Emmett Fox said, don't think about the problem, think about God. Because God is the solution. He doesn't give us the solution, it is the solution. So what he's saying, Jesus is saying when we talk about prayer, set a trap, become receptive. It's saying in substance, here I am, I'm listening. And in that expectation, we're being available to setting a trap for the ideas and the qualities of God that are present everywhere. And they begin to move through us. And suddenly we see differently. Suddenly in the midst of the circumstance, in the midst of the seeming problem, in the midst of the calamity, whatever that calamity may be, behind that we see the spiritual idea. We set a trap. It has caught us. We may call it a miracle, but it's just a walk in the park to this presence that we call God. I'm aware that every major religion has come into being around the mystery, or what we call the miraculous. In Christianity, it's the story of the resurrection. In Islam, it's about Muhammad writing the Quran without a mistake, even though he was seemingly illiterate. It was about the Buddha being under the Bodhi tree and getting into another dimension of enlightenment. I think when we study the genesis of all major religions, it's a miracle, it's the mystery, it's the miraculous that brought it into reality. It is something we cannot understand intellectually or logically because that's the five senses. We have to go beyond that into the mysterious. But when we limit ourselves to the five senses, that level of belief, we're simply trying to set things right based upon what we can see. But faith is believing in that which you cannot see. And so when we go into the five senses, we're forgetting the physical dimension. Whatever we see is nothing more than a shadow of reality. And so we get caught up in the shadow, and we forget about the sun. We forget about the light. We forget about the pattern. We forget about wholeness. We want to be of the mindset, I expect a miracle. I'm not settling for anything else. I do not know how it's going to happen. All I know, there is a perfect pattern behind me. It has never been hurt. It's never been harmed. It's never been endangered in any way. It is alive in me, and I expect it to break out all over. I'm setting a monster trap for a brilliant idea, a monster healing, the great transformation. It's going to take over my life. That's who we are. That's who all of us are. So I ask, are you ready to proclaim your wholeness? Yes. Are you ready to live life fully? Yes. Are you ready to have that healing, whatever area of life that you're looking for? Yes. It is done. And so it is. Well, next night I'll be back continuing on this series. I don't know what we're calling it, but It's about God working in our life in some way, shape, or form, which is every week. But we're talking about spiritual supply, claim what's yours. We're going to have meditation by Reverend Deborah and music by Ann Rhodes, Larry Shiflett, once again, coming back. And Soul Light Connection team that are here and on its way. And if you have any desire for prayer, you know, the chaplains are here to pray with you. If you see a chaplain that's wearing a white stole, they'll be available to pray with you in the courtyard. We'll have, Paul is here with his white stole on as one of our chaplains. And you don't have to wait until there's a challenge or a problem. I always say you could pray for something good happening in your life, and you just want to bring more of that energy. So we see that happening for you, and they're available to bring that out around you. For those who are new, either online or either here, want to do it later, you can fill out a welcome card, and we can stay and connected with you. And for those who are here new today, any newcomers here today? Anybody here for the very first time? Oh, yes. He's helping fill out for Paul. We thank you. We need to give you a special something for coming up and showing up like you do. So thank you so much. Just the help, though. That's all right. It's all good. It's all good. Well, it seems like other than our piano player, everyone else is knowing each other. But like I said, if you're different today than you were yesterday, you're a new person. And so we invite you to just continue to grow, develop, and unfold in a manner that helps you. At this time, for those who are online who would like to support Spiritual Life Center with your gift or your love offering, you can simply text SLC Love to 44321. That's SLC Love to 44321. Or you can go to our website and go to slcworld.org, click the Donate tab, and give in other ways, including by mail. And if you're watching us online, either on Facebook or YouTube, like us, subscribe, share, because the more we do that, the more people are exposed to what we have to offer that can make a difference in their life. So we appreciate those who are online that are watching live or a replay of this service. At this time, those who are present here this morning, if you want to take your gift or your love offering and just in your mind hold it up to the ever-expanding good that we call heaven or God. And know that we are in a flow of a principle that says whatever we give out, it does come back to us in so many different ways. So with that awareness, let's just affirm our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
2, 3.
God is all there is. God is all there is. One mind, one love, one power, and one life. God is all there is. God is all there is. And from this love and presence flows my life. When I feel discouraged, when I start to doubt, when I get confused, don't know what life's all about, I set my mind upon this truth, it puts my heart at ease. I affirm that God is all and God lives in me. God is all there is. God is all there is. One mind, one love, one power, and one light. God is all there is. God is all there is. And from this love and presence flows my life. I don't need no saving. I don't need no sin. There is no universal struggle that some powers gotta win. Children, God is all and all is God. I know this truth to be. If God is holy,
Well, that pretty much sums it up. God is all there is. All there is God. And thank you, Kerry McCoy, for hanging in with the keyboard today. I understand you're going to hang in with us for a while until Portal's well. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thanks for letting me in the place.
Hey, well, you'll find out that we let everybody in. Yeah. Let's take a moment and just bless those who have blessed us with their gifts and their offerings. Knowing that not only are those who receive this gift, our Spiritual Life Center, going to be blessed, but it blesses the givers as well. For we're reminded that there's a circle of life that whatever we give out ultimately comes back to us in so many different ways. But we're supporting the Spiritual Life Center to provide a place for those who are looking to grow spiritually and find like-minded people who are doing the same. So we bless those who have blessed us. We bless those who have left their prayers in the prayer box, recognizing that we all have challenges in our life and sometimes need to simply let go and let this presence support us. So we rest assured in this presence, knowing that when we do, there's a divine and perfect answer awaiting us. As the scripture says that before they call, I've already answered you. So before there's even the prayer made, the Spirit has the answer for us, because it only deals with divine and perfect spiritual solutions, and we accept them right now. So as we go forth, knowing that it's already done in the mind of God, it's simply waiting for us to catch up and be one with the one. We see it unfolding in right and perfect ways. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Let us affirm our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. Let's sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Let it begin with me.
Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Let this be the moment. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me.
Peace and blessings to you. Have a wonderful day. Get your gala tickets.
Woo!